plants have the ability to store the energy of sunlight by making glucose. So, making this molecule. Please write this down, and we're going to draw a diagram, and I'm going to write the formula for you. Okay? Write it down. Pause the video, write it if you need to. We're going to go to the next bit. Okay? All right. Now, I want you to get a piece of paper. If you need to pause the video again, it will go get a piece of paper. But you got to write down anything that I write here, okay? So first of all, we're going to draw a little diagram. This is something that, I'd like you to be familiar with. Let's just do a leaf. Okay, so here's a leaf, right? Now, leaves are amazing because they have this ability to do this photosynthesis thing. Oops, I was off the page, so I'll go ahead and do that again. So here's the sun, and they can capture sunlight energy. Write that down. Sunlight energy. Okay. My pen is the same color as the green screen. I wonder if that makes a difference. Okay, well, anyway, what you also have is an input on here. The plants, they need carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. CO2. Carbon dioxide goes into this. It actually goes in the underside of the leaf through something called a stomata, little pores that they have there. And then water comes up through the roots, H2O. Okay, so these are the inputs into photosynthesis. They get carbon dioxide and water. That's what they need, okay? They get carbon dioxide from the air, they get water from the soil up through the roots. And in the leaves, what happens is this thing called photosynthesis that will make a protein, or not a protein, it makes a sugar called glucose. And so it makes glucose. Okay, I'm going to write the word down. Now it's produced and it becomes sap, right? And it goes up and down through the thing, maple syrup, that kind of thing. But that's the sugar that is made by plants. And it's also what's used by us in our bloodstream. So the formula for glucose, the molecule I showed you, is C6H12O6. You think I want you to know this? The answer is yes, I want you to know that. Okay, 6 carbons, 12 hydrogen, 6 oxygens. Carbon dioxide is 1 carbon, 2 oxygen. Here's 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen is water. C6H12O6, 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, 6 oxygen. That's the molecule here. There's glucose. Now, in this glucose molecule is stored that sunlight energy. But here's the thing. It will also give off oxygen, and I'm going to show you why in just a second when we do the chemistry. So what also comes out of it, because anything that goes in has to come out, is oxygen. Now, you know that plants produce oxygen, but the reason is, well, I'll show you in a second. It makes 6 O2s, okay? And it's not 62, that's 6 O2s. Unfortunate that O and 0 are the same shape. It just sucks. Anyway, 6 O2s, it makes oxygen. So here is the formula. Okay, now, what we get for photosynthesis, let's write this down. Photosynthesis. All right, now pay attention. And write this down. What do you have then? You go into it is CO2 and H2O. So you got CO2. Now save a little space in front. Plus H2O. Save a little space here, by the way. You'll need it. Okay, so there's H2O, and here's the sunlight energy goes in. It takes these apart, and it reconstructs them by making glucose. C6H12O6. All right, now, that's not the end of the story. When you get the carbon dioxide from the air and the water from the soil, recombine them to make glucose. Look, you got carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and oxygen. Okay, you got the basic raw materials. But here's the question, and I want you to answer this question right out loud while you're watching it to make sure you're following it. This is the way I would teach it in class. You got C6H12O6. How many carbon dioxides do you need to have enough carbon to make a glucose? How many carbons do you have here? Is 6. How many carbons do you have here? Is 1. How many carbon dioxide molecules does it take to make one glucose molecule so you have enough of the carbon? The answer is 6. You need 6 carbons, therefore you need 6 CO2s. Remember, this tells you how many of that molecule you have. There's 1 carbon in each carbon dioxide, therefore you need 6 carbon dioxides to have 6 carbons. It gets taken apart. That's where you get the carbon from to make a glucose. Now, you do that, okay? Next question. Where does the hydrogen come from? The answer is from the water. Okay, so you get the hydrogen from the water. You tear apart the hydrogen to the water. Excuse me. Tear apart the water to make glucose. How many atoms of hydrogen does a glucose have? Say it. 12 is correct. How many molecules of H2O do you need to have 12? You've got 2 atoms of hydrogen in each molecule, so you will need 6 H2Os. So it takes 6 carbon dioxides and 6 H2Os to make one glucose, because otherwise you don't have the 6 carbons and the 12 hydrogens, right? Boom, there it is. You tear apart the CO2 and the H2O and you make a glucose. But there's more, because how many oxygens do you have here? That's right, you have 6 oxygens. Well, how many total oxygens are going into this? Okay, pay attention, because I'm going to have you review this in the questions, right? Here you have 6 oxygens, 6 CO2s with 2 oxygens each. So how many oxygens do you have here? You got 12 oxygens, right? Okay, so 12 oxygens, plus how many oxygens do you have here? 6 times, you got 6 oxygens. So that's total of 18 oxygens going in, because you got 12 going in here and 6 going in here. You only have 6 oxygens in a glucose. So how many extras do you have? 18 go in, here's 6, so you have 12 left over. Now, it would be O12, that doesn't work. It becomes O2, okay? So it forms O2, that's oxygen in the atmosphere, molecular oxygen. So you make 6 O2s. This is the formula for photosynthesis. This, I want you to know this, okay? This is the coolest chemical reaction in the known universe. And it explains a lot of stuff. It explains why plants need carbon dioxide and why they need water. Here's the energy captured in the glucose, and explains why plants also make oxygen. Oxygen is a waste product of making glucose. It's a waste product. Oxygen is like plant poop. It's a waste when it's making glucose, so it gives off oxygen. Right? So CO2 goes in, 6 CO2s and 6 H2Os go in, 1 glucose and 6 oxygens come out. All right, that's photosynthesis.